Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Disney with the Ducks. We're coming to you live from Duck Studios across the country. Tonight, I've got Carly and Jeff with us, Lonnie G, and John Krull, which is me. So, yeah.
You seem so surprised by that.
I know. I know he's a good guy. I just didn't, he's great. I'm glad you guys have him on the show this evening. Tonight, we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorite topics, which is drinks at Disney. So we'll talk about some of the alcoholic drinks, some of the non-alcoholic drinks, and just some of the fun things that you can sample throughout the Walt Disney World Resort at the different parks, at the resorts, and kind of Disney Springs too. So there's a lot of good options out there. But before we get into that, we kind of wanted to talk about some non-Disney related stuff, let you guys get to know a little bit more about us and what we do in our fun time. So what is everybody watching right now on TV and on streaming services and stuff? Lonnie, what do you got going on that you and your wife are watching?
We just actually started the second half portion of Stranger Things. Right. So yeah, we're starting to watch that. And kind of, it's funny. It's hard to find things now. We were watching Castle together. We watched all of that. So sometimes we go back and watch even older things. So we were kind of talking about it. We're going to start watching Grimm again. I don't know if you remember Grimm, the show that came out. It was maybe 4 years ago.
Fox, I think. It was a little dark.
Yeah, a little dark. Based on the Grimm books. So we're gonna go back and watch that. We enjoyed that series. So every now and then you got to go back and revisit some old things.
Yeah, that's always fun because there are so many good old shows that you can't just watch them once. You've got to rewatch them and you pick up on new things, and that's always fun to do. Yeah, cool. What about you, Jeff and Carly?
Well, as a family, we just finished
season 1.
No,
what?
Well, that too, but we just finished watching Umbrella Academy.
Oh yes.
So on Netflix, we've been pretty big in that one. It's a little weird, but
it's one that we can watch as a family. I think Riley loves it. She's giving me a big thumbs up from over on the couch. I find it's really hard to find stuff that we can watch with her. That's not. I mean, she's 15, so those jokes that are meant as adult innuendo,
she kind of gets now.
So we've got to be careful, but. We did start watching season 1 of Stranger Things, which not going back and rewatching, we have never watched it. And we binged that in the last 3 days. So, we clearly have lots going on in our lives.
Well, we need to talk before you guys get to season 4.
I hear it's a little rough.
It starts to get a little dark.
Okay.
Yeah. Carly and Riley, neither one enjoy scary things. So we weren't sure how this one would go because me and Carly made it about 15 minutes into the first episode when it first came out. And then that was it. She wouldn't watch anymore.
Yeah.
So we made it through the first season. So we're making progress.
I will say I've been sleeping on the floor of Riley's room for the past 2 nights. And I'm not going to say it's all because of her. I'm just, there's that.
All right.
I was waiting for you to say Jeff kicked me out because I was scared. So
no, Riley and I are both scared, and Jeff isn't very nice when I'm scared. Sometimes he does stuff to try and scare me on purpose.
I'll turn off all the lights and run to the other end of the house before she comes out of the room.
And I hate it. I just freeze. I'm 40 and scared of the dark. It's okay.
That was a lot worse before we had Alexa. Now she can just sit in the bathroom and yell, Alexa, turn the lights back on, and she's good.
Before I would just sit there. John, what are you watching?
So we got a couple things going on right now. So we're watching Only Murders in the Building, the second season of that, which is with Steve Martin and Martin Short, who are just hilarious. I mean, I love those guys from even in the 80s, right? And stuff when I was a kid. But now watching them, they're still great. They're still hilarious. And then who's it? There's a singer that's on. Selena Gomez is on it with them, and it's just such a good, entertaining show. They're half-hour episodes, so they're quick. So we watch that, but it's on Hulu and it only comes out once a week, so you can't binge it. Otherwise, you'd be through the whole season by now. But we just started watching Handmaid's Tale about 3 weeks ago or so, and we just finished the second season and started the third season today.
Such a good one.
It is really good, but it's really creepy. Like it creeps me out. Like I have to take breaks from watching it for a little bit. Like I got to walk around for like 5 minutes and just
it's
decompress.
heavy. And it just gets heavier as the seasons go on.
Yeah, so that's been good. And then what is the show on Apple about space where they go to the moon and the Russians ended up getting there first, and it's kind of
that's called History.
No, the Russians got there first. Come on, we all know the moon landing was fake, Carly. Lord. But yeah, so I like that show a lot, whatever it may be called on Apple. As someone who's watched the full 2 seasons plus now watching the 3rd season of it, I should know what it's called. But you get nervous when you get on camera and on the microphone and forget things.
Yeah, wow.
And yeah, so that's what I got going on in my life as far as TV goes.
So when you sit down to watch one of these shows, do you pour yourself a nice big drink of something special?
A lot of times I do. Yeah, I'm a big bourbon guy. So I've been, there's putting TV and drinks together. There's Brothers Bond bourbon that I've started drinking lately. And my wife and one of our best friends love Vampire Diaries. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but the 2 brothers on that show, they actually came out with their own bourbon in real life. And I thought it was going to be like terrible, right? But I bought it for my friend Shelly for her birthday when she came to visit us 2 years ago. And we had it one night. We're like, oh my gosh, this is actually really good. And so now I buy it all the time, and it's decent. Like, I mean, it's not the best thing you've ever had, but it's good.
I don't like bourbon, but now I want bourbon.
You should like bourbon. It's delicious.
Brothers are gorgeous.
But the other thing I like to do is make a lapu lapu at home, which is the greatest drink ever. And I'll even make it in a pineapple. Kara, my oldest daughter, she likes to core pineapples and like cut them up. And she doesn't eat pineapple, but for some reason she likes to core it and cut them and make like pretty fruit platters. So I always use the shell of it, and I'll actually drink it out of a pineapple like I'm at Disney.
Nice.
So that's where I go. But so that's what we want to talk about tonight, though, is what our favorite Disney drinks are. So
I would just like to say that I set up that transition perfectly. As bad as everybody made fun of my last time of setting up transitions,
He was so proud of himself. Did you see it? He was like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I just point that out so you guys all know that I did not fail miserably this time like I did a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and that was a good segue, Jeff. You set me up for that one, and I almost botched it, but I pulled it back together there in the end, I think. But no, let's talk about that. We know what the parks have drinks at most of the parks, right? Even Magic Kingdom now, you can get a few drinks at the restaurants, but I think Epcot is really right, kind of like the mecca of alcohol at Disney. And I don't want to turn off a lot of our listeners who may not drink alcohol, so we'll talk about some non-alcoholic drinks in here as well. But what are your guys' favorite drinks at Epcot? If you were going there for the day, what are you going to try?
I have so many. I made a huge list because we were just at Disney, and I made a point. We had a few. I made it a point to try some new stuff that I'd never tried before. So we went to Les Celliers and got what was called an Ottawa Apple, and I ended up having 2 of them.
Well, kind of by mistake.
It was by mistake. I drank the one so fast because it tastes so good, and I didn't really know how much alcohol was in it and how strong it was. And she was like, "Did you like that?" I thought that's what she asked, and I said yes. And what she asked was, "Would you like another?" And so I accidentally ordered 2, but it tastes like a candy apple in a glass, and it's even served in this cute round glass, and it's got like a cinnamon sugar rim. And it's maple finished Canadian whiskey, apple syrup, crisp apple syrup. I don't know if that makes a difference, and cranberry juice. And it is amazing. So incredible. My only issue with that one is you have to eat at Les Celliers to get it. Like I don't think they have a lounge, do they?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
But maybe if you go in and ask, they might be able to do it to go.
I need an Ottawa Apple to go. So that was one of the new ones that I loved. Also, the Rose and Crown pub. I'd never been in there before. I walked in and I asked the bartender. So it's just a walk-up pub. You grab something, you can get it to go, or you can stand around the bar, but there's no seating. And I said, I want something British. Give me something British. And they were like, okay, well, I mean, we can do this or we could do this. I was like, okay. I also like sweet stuff. I don't do much beer. And he said, cider and blackcurrant. So it's called a blackened cider. And it is hard, dry cider. I think what they use is called longbow, which you can get at the store. I just learned that. And blackcurrant juice. And they just drop a splash in. And it was so good. That's actually my go-to, I think, at Epcot now over Schafferhofer, which used to be my number one Epcot drink was Schafferhofer over in Germany. But dang, the black cider was so good.
And so the Schafferhofer, that's the grapefruit beer, right? That they have over in Germany. So yeah, we've started seeing that locally now too.
Mm-hmm.
But my only problem with that is it's very pricey and it's a low alcohol percentage, which can be good if you want to have a few of them, or if you're at Beer Garden and you get the giant one. That's that's a good thing.
$10 for a Schafferhofer in like one of their clear plastic glasses, and they do fill it pretty much to the top, but you're right. It's very low alcohol content, which is probably why I like it so much, because there are so many drinks that I want to try, but I don't want to be too tipsy walking around Epcot. I mean, I am with my family. So.
Yeah. And that's a good point too, is it's, you want to try all these different things, and it's, obviously when you're with kids and there's other families around and stuff too, right? You don't want to be that person. So it is, but that's why I like the festivals are awesome for that, because they give you the little sizes and you can try, a couple ounces of something and have a bunch of different things and it equals one drink rather than, having 6 or 7 drinks while you're out with your family at Epcot, which some people do. And, if that's your thing, then go for it. But I cannot do that because I have to wrangle a million children.
Which reminds me, sorry, I'm saying another one. They have a lemon drop at one of the food and wine booths, and they had it again this year. Is it
Japan? I think.
Japan. It's very, very tiny little cup, but it tastes just like a lemon candy, like those sugar-coated lemon hard candies. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. Very alcoholic, but very good.
All right. Well, Jeff, I could probably guess what yours is, but why don't you tell us all what your favorite drink at Epcot is?
Why don't we see what you think it is, and then we'll go from there.
I'm gonna go with Joffrey's.
There we go.
The John Daly type one. That's a mix of the tea and the lemonade and
they do
vodka.
Yeah. And there's Joffrey's carts all over, so I can always find one close by. They used to have the Tart and Tangy, which was the John Daly kind of tea, lemonade, vodka with a splash of orange, like mandarin syrup. But they haven't had that for the last couple of times we've been down. But it's called a tea breeze now. So that's kind of what I've been heading to, which is the same thing, just without the orange. But they're usually at any of the Joffrey's carts. Even if they're not on the menu, they can typically make them. They also have like a strawberry lemonade with vodka or everything. And you can get either of these without, you can get them without alcohol too. So if it's like 9:30 in the morning and you don't want to start that early, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. But I think one of my go-to things that's not at a Joffrey's cart, just for the sentimental value, is the strawberry margaritas. So that one kind of holds a special place for me now after finishing the Dopey last year, picking up the margarita in Mexico and having it through. I didn't have one on this trip because I said that's only a marathon weekend. I had a regular margarita inside at La Cava, but the strawberry ones I think is only for marathon weekends for me for now. So I kind of held off on that, but we enjoy those too. So
yeah. That's an excellent choice. And the point about it being a marathon thing, that's really cool that you're kind of saving it for that special time, special event. That was one of the best things ever, was when we were all kind of just running together that last, 3/4 of a mile or so. And we had our margaritas and it was the best, man. That was great. All right, Lonnie, what about you?
Well, Epcot, man, has so many different drinks. It's harder to kind of think of which one would be the favorite, right? But I keep going back to kind of to right around with Jeff, right, to La Cava del Tequila and getting the top shelf margarita or an avocado margarita, right? So, any of those. Every time I usually go to Epcot, I shouldn't say every time, but it's every time. I usually go, when you say you come into World Showcase, go to the left, go right over there, get your margarita. You have something to walk around with. So any of the margaritas over there is usually my go-to when I'm there.
I just had the avocado margarita and I was real nervous about it because I don't really like margaritas much, but I do love the atmosphere at La Cava and everybody else is getting margaritas. So I was like, what do you have that might be, kind of sweet, something I would like? And it's like avocado margarita. Okay. It was really good.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah. When you said you got it, I was a little nervous. I was like, I hope she liked it. And look, get it with some chips and queso. Oh, there you go. You're ready to go through the world. And I tell you, I know Carly mentioned since you don't want to be that person. Saturday night at Epcot, everybody's that person.
That's true.
Don't worry about standing out. Just do that.
That's true. Or during any of the festivals anymore, too. It seems like it.
So there's like 3 days a year that is not that person.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I think my favorite from Epcot is if you go to Teppanydo, which is one of our family's favorite restaurants. It's like the hibachi style restaurant in Japan. The soju squeeze is amazing. So it's basically like a freshly squeezed grapefruit, but then it's mixed with a liquor called soju from Japan and Asia. I think it's like fermented mountain yams or something. I had it when I was in Japan and I just loved it. And then when first time we had dinner there, I saw it on the menu. I'm like, I have to get this. And they bring you out a whole grapefruit and you squeeze it in and then you they have the soju in the glass and it's delicious. I love it. It's refreshing. It's not too strong. It's just a really, really good drink. And like I said, especially it's refreshing when you're walking around 80, 90 degree humid day and you have this nice like iced grapefruit drink. It's so good. That, or I get sake from the stand outside too.
Do they do the sake while they're cooking like all the other hibachi restaurants?
At Teppanydo?
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, I haven't seen them use sake while they're cooking. No, they just bring it out in a glass. Or
do your hibachis not do that? Like they have sake in a
squirt bottle.
Basically a ketchup squirt bottle. And
while they're cooking, they
go around. They're like, "Want sake?"
Really?
Sure.
No, I've never noticed it though. Huh?
Yes. It just gets really uncomfortable because they make you like just to open up your mouth and they squirt it across the table at you, and then like you sit there and signal no more and oh, you guys are making it gross.
No, but I'm
looking at John's face and John.
I want this now. It's one of those things I have to find. So I'm gonna have to go track this down at our local hibachi places. But no, I really like the Japan Pavilion. It's my favorite, and so I like all the drinks there. And even during the festivals, they'll have like sake slushies and other types of drinks that incorporate that. So I don't know. That's kind of my thing when I'm at Epcot.
But I have a question about your drink at Teppanydo. So you said they bring out the grapefruit for you to squeeze in?
Yeah, and they have like a little juicer thing, and you just kind of. It's awesome.
That's kind of fun.
It's really cool. Yeah, I really like it.
Just because.
Yeah.
You weren't selling it with the fermented yams. I'm going to be honest.
No, it's
the squeeze your own. That's
but you look at like what like potatoes and stuff. You make stuff out of those. It's a very good drink. I don't know how else to describe it. Right? It's refreshing. It's like a seltzer almost because you've got you've got the grapefruit juice. You've got a little bit like sparkling water type thing. So yeah, I don't know. It's really good. I would drink it. I would drink it all the time if I could. I probably should just look at a grocery store for that liquor and make it, but I didn't think of that till just now.
It's more fun at Disney.
Yeah, it's definitely more fun at Disney. But yeah, anywhere else at Epcot that you guys have to stop every time and get a beverage?
Oh my god!
I usually do at the African Outpost.
Yeah, you do.
And they have that little African Outpost.
Yeah.
They tend to have like a frozen lemonade slushy. Depends on how I'm feeling and where I am in my drinking around the world. Sometimes I get it without anything in it. Sometimes they have, I think, Tito's there actually. So
nice. Yeah, that sounds like it would be a good refreshing drink in the summer.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't drink. I don't pay for drinks that are non-alcoholic very often, to be honest. Like at that point, I'm just going to drink water for the most part. But yeah, so that's my thing. I'll fill up water or get the free ice waters.
That Joffrey's coffee, though, like all these people who wait in line at Starbucks, and we did go into the new Connections Cafe with the attached Starbucks. It's just the line is ridiculous, and you can get Starbucks anywhere. Joffrey's for me, we don't have them locally. I can go and buy Joffrey's coffee at Marshall's, or I can have it shipped in, but it's not just a cart set up somewhere that I can get coffee. And it doesn't matter if it's 90 degrees out in the morning, I have to have my coffee. And Joffrey's coffee for me is the best. And at Epcot especially, there are all the booths around. So you can always find one that isn't super packed with people. So that's my go-to.
So that just reminded me of something. We do go to a lot of the Starbuckses. Starbuy? Yeah. The plural of Starbucks. Yeah, no. But no, we always go to Starbucks just because we know what we can get there. Like I'll get nice coffee. Katie gets her like macchiato with almond milk with half whipped cream, or I don't know. It takes like 20 minutes to order her drink.
Correct.
But it's the exact same thing she gets a mile from our house in 20 different directions because there's Starbucks everywhere. But they're still delicious. So we end up doing that a lot. Lonnie, what about you? Anything else at Epcot you're going for?
To Carly's point, there's usually when I go, there's some kind of festival. So you're walking through and you're seeing something. You're like, you know what? I should try this, right? So I'll grab some here and there. The trick with Epcot and drinking is that it's usually so hot, right? So you get something like I usually go out in France and you have the little frozen rosé. But when you get something like that, it melts as soon as you get it, right? So before you get 10 feet, you're kind of like, okay, this thing is water now, right? So yeah, it's just depends on the festival and something I see that catches my eye. Usually a flight of some sort. I'll just grab that.
And those flights are cool too, because you can try a bunch of different things. And that was kind of like my point earlier about like the festival booths. I like trying different things, right? Because that's the fun of travel for me is you can try all these different things in one spot. It's not like you have to go to a grocery store and buy all these different huge bottles that if you don't like it, you're stuck forever, right? Because you'll never.
You got to drink it. You got to force yourself to drink it. You're like, this is horrible.
But I paid for it. I'm drinking. So yeah. All right. So let's move on then to talk about my second favorite place on property to have a beverage, which is actually Animal Kingdom.
I wondered where you were going next.
Yeah. So Lonnie, why don't you let us know where you like to, or what beverages you like to have at Animal Kingdom?
I'm at Animal Kingdom. I love the Starbucks there, but if I'm going to go get an adult beverage, I go to Tiffin's and I get the watermelon margarita.
Oh,
yes.
You just said two of my favorite words and put them together. Watermelon and
margarita.
Yeah, I love both those things separate. I don't think I've ever had them combined though.
Oh, you know what? Dropping the mic. That's what I'm getting.
Nice. That sounds amazing.
And Tiffin's has a lounge, so you can get it even if you don't have a reservation there.
Exactly. Yeah, you just sit outside. You can order still things and sit outside under the shade, under the fan, and usually you can go in, like you said, with no reservation. Sometimes you go in, there's a little wait, but you sign your name up, they'll call you, you come back out there, and you can still order a couple of appetizers and drinks from the main menu from the bar.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
All right. What about you guys, Jeff and Carly? Where are you going?
Go ahead.
Well, we just discovered Nomad Lounge on our last trip. So
I mean, we'd been there before, but
I had not.
We had.
You had. I had not. We were riding rides.
Yes, they were riding. I ducked in for a quick drink, but go ahead.
We had several there. We had the Leaping Lizard.
Okay. This is one that we let a flock choose our drinks. And I gave options for stuff that I would like because I didn't want to just throw money down the drain. Because drinks at Disney are expensive. So we had the Leaping Lizard or the Annapurna Zing on the list. And since we have a lot of the Be Our Guest lizards following the podcast, they all chose lizard. It was not great.
It was sour.
It was very sour. I definitely drank it, but it took me a while. But we saw someone at the table next to us with a drink that had this glowing lotus flower in it. And Riley is a connoisseur of the glow cubes in drinks. So she was like, get that. So I asked him what it was, and I said, I'll have what she's having. And it was the Annapurna Zing, which is what the other option was, which is Bombay Sapphire Gin, passion fruit puree, mint, simple syrup, and lime juice topped with ginger beer, and then the beautiful lotus flower. It was the bomb. So good. So good. So the flock led me astray on the lizard, but I made up for it with the Annapurna Zing, and I'm here to say, skip the lizard, get the Zing. It was wonderful. But you had something.
For a non-alcoholic, though, we usually end up in Pandora and get a Night Blossom. So Riley really likes that. It's the slushy drink with the little boba balls through it. Mm-hmm. And Riley tends to really enjoy that, but it's hard to get through. It's a pretty big drink.
Frozen slushy drinks that becomes water pretty fast. And they put the big boba straw in it, but it's a paper straw. So in about 5 minutes in the summer heat, it's become this like mushy mess of
that melted the boba doesn't fit through
and squished paper straw. It's gross. So that's one that get a spoon with it and eat it with a spoon. It's way easier.
Yeah. But I tell you, I love that place, and I love the rum blossom from there. Same boba balls, but just a little bit of rum on it.
Nice.
Enough to kind of take the edge off.
Plus rum minus boba balls, because the boba balls freak me out.
I like them. I think they're good. I don't know. Fun. It's like fun. It's exciting.
How you first get them in your mouth, they kind of like I can understand that, but I power through it.
It popped like fish eyeballs. It's so gross.
No, it's cool. Yeah, I don't know. First time it freaked me out.
Zero, but it's just what I.
So you have no idea.
Right.
If it is like fish eyeballs. Well, the other thing, what we do as a family to address the straw issue is, while still being environmentally friendly and saving the animals and whatnot, but with avoiding the paper straws, we bring our own silicone straws. So
but do you have one that would accommodate the large?
We have some wide ones, and then we have like stainless steel, smaller ones that are more like traditional straw size. But
John's a professional. Crawl goes ready.
Yeah, I travel with a traveling bar at all times, so I'm always prepared, like a Boy Scout, but one who likes beverages.
So where do you get to drink in Animal Kingdom, John, if that's your second favorite place to go?
Okay, so we love Nomad Lounge. We go there literally every trip. It's like a must-do for us because with my daughter and I both having celiac, it's like the only place we can get, what are they called now? Churros. And they have the dipping sauces for them. Well, now they have churros at Coronado at the new the Three Rivers bar that they have there, but that's beside the point. I digress. So getting this train back on track. I love Nomad Lounge. So you mentioned the Leaping Lizard. I do really like that. I think it's delicious, but I think part of it is because of the lizard group, and it reminds me of that. So, there's that at play in my head. But my favorite drink from there is the Tempting Tigress, just because it's a bourbon-based drink, and I love bourbon. So it's got bourbon, allspice dram, tamarind syrup, and lime juice. So it's got the lime juice to give it that little bit of like sourness to offset some of the other stuff. It's really, really good. So that's probably my favorite. And back when I could drink beer, I used to like the little stand outside of what's the restaurant called where they have the characters? Not Yak and Yeti. What was it?
Tusker House?
Yes, Tusker House. So they had that little bar right outside of Tusker House, right? And they had like African beers and stuff. So it was really cool because you could try things that you don't find at a regular bar or a regular store. So I always thought that was cool. But no, my favorite drink in Animal Kingdom is definitely the Tempting Tigress. I could drink those all day. I love them. But I've never had a bad drink or a drink I didn't like at Nomad Lounge ever. Just everything on their menu is so good.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. And what about, are there any good, you mentioned the Bobo drink out of Pandora, right? But they also have a Starbucks there too. So we get drinks there a lot. So we pretty much always get an iced coffee midday there because I need the energy.
They also have a Joffrey's. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but Starbucks is right there on the way to Pandora. I mean,
Joffrey's is right there on the way into the park.
Well, but Joffrey's doesn't have those like cool shaped "You Were Here" cups or mugs. I mean, like Starbucks does, and we have like a whole rack of those things. So we have to stop in there. Obviously.
Okay, Joffrey's, if you're listening, you need to make cool mugs that are park essential.
Yeah, because I have ordered the Joffrey's coffee to be delivered, and that's always fun because it reminds you of Disney and everything else, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, they need those because we always go to Starbucks there. Because Lonnie, like you said, it's in the perfect spot.
Perfect spot.
It's always right when I need a caffeine boost and something delicious that's iced. So that's perfect.
There's always a great selection in that one too. That Starbucks. There's every probably cup you can imagine, and some great snacks.
Yeah. It's awesome. And it's never like I've never had to wait in a long line there like I have at the Epcot one or the Disney Springs one or the Main Street Bakery one. I mean, that one's just insane at Magic Kingdom.
Right.
But yeah, it's awesome. Everything about it I love. So all right. Okay. So next park we'll go to on our tour de Disney of drinking is we'll head over to Hollywood Studios. Oh. Yeah. No, my thoughts too, Carly. My thoughts too.
Really?
What?
Really?
There
Baseline Tap House?
Okay. So there's not like one drink that I just have to have there, but I like the atmosphere at Baseline Tap House. And they have a
California Sunset.
A California Sunset, which is very good. It's like a citrusy drink on tap. But I had it and it was good this past time, but I felt like it was kind of sour. But the atmosphere there is great. And I knew that there was something I wanted to try when I was there and I completely forgot about it. They have a margarita flight and I'm sad that I forgot about it. I was just so busy. Like I didn't think we were even going to get a table there. And then we did, but I had taken the kids to Star Tours and a couple of people got motion sick. And so by the time we got there, I was like, just order me that California thing that I had before. And I forgot all about the margarita flight. But if any of our listeners had the margarita flight, don't fight over the margaritas. Margarita flight, please put in the comments or message on Facebook and let me know, or take pictures of it and post in the Facebook group because I want to know all about this margarita flight.
I had the wild berry lemonade, which you kind of see a pattern for me. I like the lemonade drinks, especially in the summer and the heat. But that is a non-alcoholic drink that you can actually get doctored up as well. And they have a full shelf of whatever you want in it. So I had mine with Tito's, which is my go-to preferred vodka brand. But you can get it with or without alcohol there. Also at the studios, they have Joffrey's carts. So I'm never too far away from my tea breezes. And over by Rock and Roller Coaster, they have the little drink station over there.
That is what I would call your signature Hollywood Studios drink, which is just the lemonade with a double shot of Tito's in it. And he's perfectly happy.
Delicious.
That is.
Yes.
It's if you get there early in the morning, sometimes the lemonade's not really set up very well. So it's more like a water or a lemony drink.
It's just the
lemonade without the
Tito's.
slushy, which is still fine with me. I have no problem with that. So, nice. But those are my go-tos whenever I'm at the studios.
Good choices. All right, Lonnie, what about you?
I'm surprised at the studios. Jeff and Carly didn't mention going over to Batu to Olga's Cantina.
Oh,
grab some of the drinks that I know that's kind of, it's an acquired taste. I see the look on Carly's face, but who doesn't like a fuzzy tauntaun? I mean, come on.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought you were going with the milk stand.
No, I'm going.
That's a texture thing for me. I can't get past how thick it is. It's kind of gross.
It's like Pepto-Bismol. That's what it reminds me of. I just don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's gross.
Yeah.
But I can get behind your fuzzy tauntaun statement. Go ahead.
Fuzzy tauntaun. That's what I go with every time I go with. When I go there, that is. So that's my favorite drink in Hollywood Studios. Of course, with Olga's, it's one of those things you get there. Reservations, you may be standing up, you're at a table, some people you don't know, but you always make friends with them. Funny story, Gene and I were there for marathon weekend, and the people at the table with us were from Louisiana. Craziest thing. Right? So we're talking to them and enjoying the fuzzy time. So all the drinks there are pretty good. We usually go back and back. A Bloody Rancor, Tauntaun. Just try some different things. You'll like it.
Yes, I've had the is it the Naboo something, and it comes in the, or not Naboo, it's the Nub Nub.
The Nub Nub.
The Nub Nub drink with the souvenir cup with the Ewoks on it.
Yeah.
Super cute. Yeah.
So
and I've had the Cliff Dweller with the porn cup. Yes.
Words to the wise, though. Be careful. That menu is very small. It's hard to read. When you order something, and Carly and Jeff, they have the souvenir cup, right? They're professionals and they know they want it. But I've seen some people before. I've been there a lot, and they've ordered something. They come with these cups, and like, wait a second, did I order that? So it can hit you in the wallet. But
especially that Rancor tooth.
I'm sorry.
Especially that Rancor tooth drink. What is it like?
It's like $90.
$90 some dollars. I mean, it's a very cool kind of flight looking set, but dang.
Yeah, I want my own. Literally, I want my own Rancor if I'm ordering that. I want like a baby Rancor. I can bring him home, feed him, ride him when he gets bigger, right? So, but yeah, you have to really look at that menu because it will sneak up on you. If you just like, oh yeah, you get caught up in it. They do a nice little show every so often. All the bartenders, they start singing and dancing, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, that's my spot.
Nice. And that's one place I've never been, just because it's small and it's crowded, and I have all my kids with me usually and stuff. So it's hard to go to a place like that.
John, I will say they have such an awesome menu of non-alcoholic beverages that are fun.
Yeah. But I also have a lot of kids, and those are not cheap drinks. So I'm going to come out of there spending a lot of money.
Right. It would definitely be a splurge for your family. But our friends who were just down there ended up going to Oga's. And I was like, I mean, yeah, whatever, do it. But they were so excited that they went. They took videos of their drinks because they had one that bubbled and it moved boba balls around inside and kind of fizzed at the top. And then... So the kids had a great time. So I completely overlooked that one.
All right.
And then you have DJ Rex on the Wheels of Steel in there. Let me tell you something. You can't go wrong with DJ Rex. He spins some good tunes.
That's a good point. So next time we're down, I should check it out because I am really interested in trying some of those drinks because they look really cool on all the videos I've seen and everything. So I don't know, but for now, where I usually go is I love 50s Primetime. It's one of my favorite restaurants there. It's so fun. The food's good. I like the interaction, all that. But whenever we're there, I get the Magical Star cocktail, which I think is available other places on property. Mm-hmm. But I just really like it. And that's the only place I get it. It's got coconut rum in it. It's got pineapple juice. And it's got, Carly, you mentioned Riley likes the little cubes. Yeah, the little glow cubes, which I have a few of them around the house somewhere. But no, that's one of my favorite drinks. I love it because it reminds me of that restaurant. Mm-hmm. That, and then they have really good shakes there too. They have like a peanut butter and jelly shake, and then they have really good like just regular. I mean, if you just want a plain chocolate shake, it's still delicious. But the peanut butter and jelly one is amazing, especially if
is there to go shake window open again? I know for a while after the pandemic it was closed, but I think it's back open again. So you can, again, it's another place that it's a restaurant, but you can walk up.
The Tune-In Lounge.
The Tune-In Lounge. You can walk up, get some drinks, and take them with you as you walk. And those shakes are phenomenal.
That's a good point because you're going to wait forever to get in there. And it's a long meal because they have all the interaction of the waitress, yelling at you about your elbows on the table and stuff. And it's a popular place too. So it can be tough to get into sometimes. So that's a really good point. You can walk in.
Yeah. And with the heat in Florida, we don't eat super heavy meals. And so a lot of times we think, oh my gosh, I want to go here because the dessert looks great. But then by the time we're done eating our meals, we decide we're too full for dessert, where that's a really nice place to go and just say, I'm getting a shake. I'm doing the Tune-In Lounge. I'm getting the shake. And that's it. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is after a full meal, it is tough, especially when you drink a milkshake and you go out in 90-degree weather. It doesn't really, it doesn't really match up well. Not a good pairing. All right, and then
long bus ride.
Yeah. Oh, it can be a really long bus ride, especially with those buses. They don't have the best suspension. They're a little rocky. Oof. All that movement. All right. So the last park then is going to Magic Kingdom. So Magic Kingdom just started having alcohol at some of the restaurants, right, in the last few years. But you can't just go to a stand and buy an alcoholic beverage at this point. So what are you guys drinking at Magic Kingdom? Lonnie, what are you going for there?
Okay, I'm gonna let you down, Crow. I'm gonna let everybody down. I don't drink in Magic Kingdom, right? So if I get something that's gonna be non-alcoholic, I'll get, just basically anything other than alcohol. I prefer, if I'm right there at Magic Kingdom, to hop on the monorail and go over to the Polynesian. I'm sure we'll talk about that after. But in Magic Kingdom, I don't know what it is. It doesn't really just appeal to me to drink there. I don't know if it's because so many people and I'm always running around or I'm jumping on a ride, but I just don't get anything to drink there that's alcoholic.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing I do. I don't really get drinks in Magic Kingdom. I think maybe when we were at Jungle Navigation, I might have had an alcoholic beverage one time, but really it's just, for some reason, that place to me doesn't say like, hey, let's have a few beverages, right? But I always get the pineapple, the Dole Whip float.
Yes.
And that I love because it's just the frozen pineapple ice cream in pineapple juice. Oh, it's like heaven. That and Lefroux's Brew. I love that. It's just, it's basically just apple juice, right? But it's so fun.
No, it is not just apple juice. Stop that. I even had to look up what it was because it's apple juice that's, very sophisticated. Gaston, he's quite sophisticated. It's frozen apple juice with a hint of toasted marshmallow fluff, topped with an all-natural passion fruit mango foam.
Oh, that's what the foam is. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, it's really good. Yeah, especially on a hot day. I love it. So those are the two things I'm getting pretty much every time I've been to Magic Kingdom, which is quite often. So yeah, those are my favorites. Jeff, what's yours?
I think it's kind of as much as we get whenever we're there too. We don't tend to drink a whole lot. I know you mentioned Skipper Canteen. We went there for the first time back in 2020 or so, and being somewhat of a smart aleck sometimes and liking to have fun there, the waitress asked what I wanted to drink, and I said I'd like the backside of water. And so she brought me out the backside of water, and I don't think it's on the menu. I don't know if it's an actual drink that they make up for people, but it looked like a black.
It was algae looking.
Yeah, in a glass. And she set it down. And she goes, "Here's your backside of water." And I sat wondering, can I drink this or not? I wasn't real sure if she was just joking.
We had a very long conversation about whether Disney would bring you out something that you couldn't consume, and how much of a liability that would be. So we were like, I think you can probably try it.
So we tried it, and it is actually very good. It had Sprite, it had Coke, it had the blue Powerade. She just kind of went down through the whole fountain.
It was a mix of every drink in the fountain plus tea, I think.
I don't know. It was,
and some Gatorade or Powerade, whichever they use. But it was algae colored green.
It was delicious.
And it was lovely.
Yeah. So
sounds gross.
Not on the menu though. You've got to just be a smart.
Like I said, I don't know if it was just that waitress's thing that she was having fun that day and said, "Here's your backside of water," or it's something that they were doing, but it tasted pretty good.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to try that next time I'm in. What about you, Lonnie? Carly, I guess we skipped over you.
Yeah, that I piggyback on LeFou's Brew, and water. I think I down water in Magic Kingdom more than any other park. And I think it's probably because we go as fast as possible. And all the food that we eat there is just really junk food, and all the quick service. And it's either super sweet or super salty. And so lots of water.
Yeah. Okay. You want to stay hydrated. You definitely don't want to end up with heat stroke at Disney.
Or kidney stones.
Dehydration, yeah. That's how you got them, right?
Yeah, yes.
All right. Lonnie, what about you?
Like I said, I do love, having a little, Dole Whip with the pineapple juice in it. Love that. And then it's just water. That's literally it. Like I said, I'm just not big drinker there. Magic Kingdom, I just roll around so much. I'm jumping on stuff. I don't want to drink something and jump on a ride, and then all of a sudden the person behind me is, having a very bad day. So I don't drink a lot when I'm there besides just water and things of that nature. Like I said, there are too many other good places to drink so close to Magic Kingdom. All you gotta do is hop on the monorail. I prefer to go there, right? So that's just my thoughts on it.
So let's talk about that then. We've talked about all the parks. Where else are you going on property to grab a drink, and what are you getting from that place?
I think the next big place you're going, if outside the parks, is heading to the Springs.
But Lonnie was heading on the monorail.
Yeah,
I'm on the monorail, Jeff.
Right. It was
yeah,
close.
we're on the monorail,
and we're going to Carl's favorite spot, the Polynesian.
All right.
Right.
Yes.
And at the Polynesian, where you're at Trader Sam's. Right. So Trader Sam's, you pick it. I think everything on the menu is good. I love the way that certain drinks you order, they'll come out and have a little show attached to it. If you have to do it, the OA is one of my favorites there. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Share it. Do not try to drink the whole thing by yourself.
Is that the one that's in a big bowl?
Yes. And
don't be a hero.
A little flame on it, and you have to take the cinnamon and you stick it in there, and it fires up. Yeah, that's it. The oil.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's so I would do that. And Carl mentioned this as well, because sometimes it's a little hard to get into Trader Sam's, but you can go right upstairs. You go to Tambu Lounge and you get Carl's favorite drink, which he makes at home, the Lapu Lapu.
Oh, so delicious. It is my favorite thing to eat, drink, anything. I just absolutely, it reminds me of Disney. Whenever I make it at home, I try it, I'm instantly transported to sitting at the Polynesian and having one of those beautiful pineapples in front of me filled with that magical liquid. I love it. It's just so good because it comes in a giant pineapple. Oh, and you can order it without the pineapple. I think you save a couple of dollars, but honestly, where's the fun in that?
What's the fun in that? I mean, you don't go to Disney to save a couple of dollars.
No, and a boring glass. Come on. You don't need that in your life. What you need is a pineapple with 151. You've got dark rum in it. You've got some sweet and sour sauce. It's just, and then it's all mixed together perfectly. I don't know. I love it. You cannot go wrong with it. And it's even got some orange juice in it too. So, or pineapple juice, orange juice. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Oh, so good. But also, the other thing I like there too, though, I mean, really, so you mentioned the Tambu Lounge upstairs, but then Trader Sam's, if the inside is packed, they've got that little tiki bar around the back that you can go to and order drinks from. And to be honest, when I'm there with my family and they all go to bed, I'll take my laptop, I'll go over there, I'll try to get some work done, sit outside, have a drink or two out there, or even just sit and just watch the Magic Kingdom, and you can see the castle lit up. It's just awesome. I love it.
I agree. It is. Now you won't get the show outside, but you will get the food, you get the drinks, but still, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Polly is one of my favorite places to get drinks. And this is one of the ones that I could do non-alcoholic or alcoholic, doesn't matter. I'm getting the same thing. It's pog juice. So passion fruit, orange juice, and guava juice, equal parts mixed. They do it at Ohana at the breakfast. But if you go into Tambu Lounge, they can do it regular, or they will put some alcohol in it. And I had asked the bartender the last time, they do one, it's called the back scratcher. And I have no idea what alcohol is in that. But he was like, we can also do a vodka one. I was like, why do I have to pick? Let's do one of each. So I tried them side by side. The back scratcher is best, but I still think I would go with just non-alcoholic pog juice. It is amazing.
It is so good. But that back scratcher though is really good too, and that's got rum and Jack Daniels, I think, in it. It's got a whiskey and a rum. That's so good. And then the pog juice.
So if I'm at the Poly and having a drink, and actually most of the resorts, so they have some variation or another of a Long Island iced tea, and that's kind of my nice little sip and drink to have for a little bit. Had a couple of those when we were watching fireworks on July 3rd. But the Poly has them. if you want to take the boat over to Geyser Point, they have like a backwoods version of that. I know that's tough to say.
You haven't even been drinking a backwoods.
I know.
Look at you.
But they all have just slight variations of the different. It's basically the same drink, just with a little tweak to it at the different resorts. Most of the pools have them too, so you can grab something similar. But I really like the Long Island iced teas. Actually, when we were there in the third, he filled me up one and like perfect shaker amounts. I mean, he's got it down to a science of how much he puts in, fills it up. It's right to the brim of the cup. He looks down and says, "Oh crap, I forgot the Coke." So that one was just straight alcohol, a little stronger than some of the other ones. Didn't have a whole lot of Coke in that one, but we made it work. So, but I do like the variations of those.
So I guess continuing on kind of the monorail loop, have you guys ever been to Enchanted Rose Bar, the Beauty and the Beast theme bar at Grand Floridian?
Yeah.
I love it there. And they have so many bourbon drinks there, and they have a really good selection of just straight bourbon. But it can hit you in the wallet pretty quick and pretty hard if you're not paying attention. But that place it's a little bit more of like the type of bar you'd go to out with like work colleagues or something than I'd like to see at Disney. But I do enjoy it. It's a little bit above my like dress code and stuff like that when I'm on vacation, right? Because you walk in there, you feel like you should be wearing a blazer and dress pants and that type of thing. But I do really like that place. They have really good drinks. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
A little too fancy for my cargo shorts. But you can go in there, but you just don't feel like you belong there.
I have no problem with that.
No. Okay, so what other are there other resorts that you guys like to go to have one of their beverages?
I mentioned Geyser Point just because of the atmosphere.
Geyser Point.
There's a lot of variety there, and it's a nice place just to go to relax.
Well, and you just sit out on the lake. It's beautiful. It looks like you're at like a wilderness lodge. Yep. I mean, you look out on the lake, you can't really see the Magic Kingdom. You can see the boats coming and going, but you're surrounded by trees. The cabins are so nice.
Yep.
They have 2 drinks there that I get. One is a Blue Wilderness, which is secret menu.
Not on the menu.
But it's super good. And the other is some banana cabana something or other. I don't know, just order the one that says banana in the name. But they're basically very similar drinks, mixed rum, fruity, sweet, good drinks.
Okay.
I like Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani and Jambo. Love going to Sanaa. Of course, you get a reservation, but the bar, you don't need a reservation, and you can get the exact same food. So go to we went last time and they had like a lot of people outside waiting. I just said, "Hey, can I go to the bar?" They was like, "Sure." Walk right in there, got a table, got bread service. There's a spicy margarita there. That's fantastic. That's my wife's favorite. And there's a large selection of wines, or if you go over there to Jambo House. So I think from a resort perspective, I think those two have probably the best bars and food choices on property if you're looking at a resort. That's where I usually go.
Okay. And honestly, I just go to the lounge at whatever resort I'm at and grab a drink. But I do really like Bellevue Lounge over at the boardwalk. That one to me. Yeah, they have some good drinks there. The atmosphere is cool. And one of the things I like to get there, it's called a smoked turkey. It's like wild turkey bourbon, red stag, which is like a cherry flavored bourbon type beverage, grenadine lemonade, and then they add like a smoke flavor to it. So you get kind of the smokiness with it as well. But it's so good, and it's available a bunch of different places. Like I've had it at Beach Club and Yacht Club and stuff like that. But it's that's one of the really good beverages that I like to have when I'm there. That I'm sure you can probably get something similar other places, but I've just never looked for it anywhere else. So I really like that a lot. But those, and then Abracadabra too is, it's kind of, it's not part of the boardwalk resort, but it's on the boardwalk. Right. And that's such a fun atmosphere to go to. So yeah.
They got Broadway Joe's Margaritas right there too.
Oh yeah. Right on the little stand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like at Disney Springs where they have the dockside margaritas, right? Is that over? That's so good.
Are we
Chip
going to
like
talk about
aqua.
Springs? I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
let's
I
talk
mean, that
about
was a
yeah.
great transition that John just drew over to Jeff.
I
Go over to
know.
the Springs.
Right. And you mentioned dockside margaritas, but there's also the dockside at the boathouse.
Yes.
Have you guys been there? Behind the boathouse, they have like a little walk-up bar.
You have to walk through the boathouse, but then you can go out on the actual like docks. And I mean, when you step on them, you're moving. So whether you're drunk or not, you feel like you're drunk. Right.
Yeah, we went out there and they had the blueberry lemonade, which is Stoli blueberry, Western some lemon vodka, fresh blueberries, and a handmade lemonade. Again, there's a pattern here to my drinks, but this one with the blueberries tastes a lot different. It was very good.
We went there because I wanted the Duck Raz. If you want to talk about an Instagram worthy drink, it is this
champagne glass.
Yeah,
or
maybe.
No, like
it's a big bowl looking glass, and it is peach schnapps.
The blue one with the dark. Yes.
Okay. Blue curacao, lemon juice, simple syrup, and Stoli Raz, and it looks like the bluest water, and it's got like bath bubbles on top with a little rubber ducky in it. And of course, since we're Disney with the Ducks, I had to get it. And it was awful. Absolutely awful. Gorgeous to take pictures of. I'm so glad I got it for that. But this blueberry lemonade was killer.
When I'm at Disney Springs, generally we're driving. So like we usually just drive to the Springs because it's easier than buses and everything else with that. So I usually don't have too many beverages there. But I do want to go to the Polite Pig and try like their bourbon flights one time because they seem like they have such a great menu there. And I have never checked it out because like I said, for some reason, we always drive to the Springs, and that means that I'm the one driving because my wife doesn't like driving. So I never get to indulge in any of the adult beverages over there. But one of these days, I'm going to try it.
Well, Carl, you are missing out, man, because that Polite Pig that bar is phenomenal. And look, you talked about sitting down and working. You can go work at that bar, right? You have everything you want. People watch, work. There are plugs on the bar, so you can plug up your phone, all that kind of good stuff. It's an awesome spot. But to Jeff's point, I mean, the Springs has so many great places that you can grab something to drink. So many things you can walk up to. My favorite spot is, of course, Artsman's Homecoming too. I talked about that a lot. That bar is phenomenal. So, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong besides the duck one that Carly had. Other than that, I don't think you can go wrong.
That's Homecoming. Do you get the sport bottle and take it back every trip?
I haven't. I usually just order something off the menu, but you told me about the sport bottle, so I'm gonna get it next time I go because I followed along with you when you had it at your last trip, and I had a little sport bottle envy. Jeff, I'll be honest with you.
We have several,
and they changed though. They're like plastic sports bottles that are I would guess like
I don't know.
They're very tall. They look like a sports water bottle that you see basketball players like.
It's got a little koozie on them that they change out.
But it's got a cute little koozie on it that changes seasonally. So we have a couple different designs of that. But if you take it back each time, they give you a discount on your moonshine refill. So
and they have a special walk-up window on the outside just to get the refills on your moonshine. So you don't have to go inside. You just walk up to the outside, in your sports bottle, they'll fill you up with a shine, and on the way you go.
Wow, that's nice.
Right.
Very efficient.
I always struggle between that and I have a corksicle that I get refills on at Wine Bar George because they have the Dole Whip Froscato. So it's a Dole Whip wine mix. Oh my gosh, it's spectacular. So I always let him get the moonshine and I get mine and I drink mine and he doesn't want it. But then I just steal his whenever he's like, here, hold this. I got to go to the bathroom. Okay. Let me hold that for you.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
I have such a problem at the Springs because there are so many good places to drink.
But Carly, there is something I'm pretty sure you like that's not alcohol.
Correct. My absolute favorite thing at the Springs is Gideon's Peanut Butter Cold Brew. And oh my gosh, it is the only Gideon's location where you can get peanut butter cold brew. I looked at their original location trying to avoid lines. But it is cold brew coffee, which I don't know. I don't like iced coffee. I just don't. It's bitter. Cold brew coffee is not bitter at all. It takes the bitter out. And then they put this peanut butter, I don't know, like powder on top that you mix in. It is so good. It's so, so, so good. I can't say how much I love it, but I figured out that the like hack for life is to ask for it with no ice, because then you get a bigger cup of peanut butter cold brew without all of the ice that takes up the space. Also, that leaves me time to take it back to the room and pop it in the fridge so that I could have it the next day. So the last time we went, we got 2.
Yeah, you never made it to the fridge.
Well, the plan was to get 3 and I was going to take 1 back. But then we got 2 and I was like, I'll take 1 back still. And I ended up downing both of them.
Before we got to Jock Lindsay's.
We went there and then went
Jack Lindsay's like,
Yeah, it's like next door, right? Or
corner. Yeah. By the time we sat down and my drink came at Jock Lindsay's, I had downed both of them. And then by the time the pretzel at Jock Lindsay's came, I was so sick to my stomach because I hadn't really eaten much. And then I had all of that cold brew coffee sitting on my stomach and it was really hot out. It was worth it. No regrets. None. None.
Yeah, Carly told me about it. I went last time. I said I got to get it because Carly said she loved it, and it was fantastic.
Yay.
It really was. It was
nice. I'm gonna have to check this out.
Jody just got it, Jody and Tim, and they raved about it too. And she said no ice for the win, so that's like the hack to life. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, plus with the cold brew coffee, when the ice starts melting, it just gets too watered down, and you lose a lot of the flavor. I just don't like that. So yeah, that's a good tip. I like it. All right. Any other drink related items that you guys want to go over or bring up?
Oh.
No? Okay, good. All right. Well, we talked about a lot of fun beverages. It's kind of skewed in the alcohol direction because of, I think, the people we have on tonight, which is fine. We like to have a good time, even on vacation. But there are a lot of good non-alcoholic drinks too. There's a lot of fun mocktails you can get. I know my kids, especially when we were on the dining plan and it comes with a drink, they would get these crazy mocktails that a lot of them were better than the alcoholic beverage I would get. Because, if you get a beer or a glass of wine, it's the same anywhere. But then I look over and my kids have this beautiful, like, fun drink with all kind of different juices and stuff in it. So there's a lot of good options for those of you who don't want to partake in the alcohol too around Disney World Resort.
Absolutely.
So hopefully everybody got some good ideas of what you want to try next time you're there. And with that, we'll head into, I think, our favorite segment. So let's get you guys quacking up with the ducks. All right. So who wants to volunteer as tribute to go first?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it, Jeff.
I know you said that from the time of the recording of this, tomorrow you're going to go see Elton John in concert. And here a few years ago, we got the privilege to see Elton John with Billy Joel. So that kind of led me down the train of thought of my joke today. And why couldn't Billy Joel see very well? Because he had a cataract.
I don't get it.
The whole song, like
moving out,
heart attack, you ought to know by now.
You would think I would be a big Billy Joel fan because I love a lot.
That one hurt.
Huge.
I think I got a pity laugh from Lonnie. I'm not sure he got it either, but I did get a pity laugh.
It was It was. I'll give you an A for effort, and you incorporated, recent events or upcoming events in my life into it, which I appreciate.
I tried.
Well, hopefully your better half can redeem you here.
Probably not. Oh. But do you know I asked Jeff for a pop the other day out of the fridge, and he grabbed a Diet Coke can and threw it at me, and it hit me in the head. But it's okay. It was a soft drink. All right. Was that better or worse than Billy Joel?
Oh, that was way better. Yeah.
Okay. See. He's popping.
Oh, all right, Lonnie.
All right. What do you call a line of men waiting to get a haircut?
I don't know.
A barber queue.
I like that.
Oh, yeah. It kind of brings in the Disney too with the queue.
Yeah.
Right? We just talked about that.
All right. Well, I have one that kind of on topic for what we were talking about tonight. The past, the present, and the future walk into a bar. it was very tense.
That appeals to the English grammar nerd in me also. Love it.
There you go. All right. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed our episode tonight. Make sure you come join our Facebook group, Disney with the Ducks on Facebook. We have a really good community there. We're having a lot of good discussions, a lot of fun back and forth about tips on planning, but also just discussions about what we like in Disney World, our favorite vacation spot. We're also on YouTube. We're on Twitter at Disney with the D1. And we're on Instagram and probably anywhere else there's a social media presence that I'm too old to understand. So
MySpace isn't around anymore, Crawl.
The what?
MySpace isn't around anymore.
Oh, but that was the best because you had like your top 8 and you had music playing. Like I could have a Green Day song one day and a Blink song the next day. It was the best.
You can reach out to us on ICQ though.
Right. AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh yeah. You could dig up my username from 99 or whenever. All right. Well, we're getting a little off track here, but thank you everyone for listening. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed recording it, and we'll catch you next week. And with that, Kwaharini.
Thanks, everybody.
It's the whole scene with Zeus, and he's getting ready to strike with the lightning bolt, and it's like.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Disney with the Ducks. We're coming to you from the states of Ohio, Louisiana, and Michigan. So we're pretty spread out.
Whoa. Time out, dude.
Whoa.
He's not Jewish.
Arkansas. I quit. I shouldn't have tried to go off the cuff there. I'm sorry, Lon.
From Duck Studios all across this great United States.
Damn it. I really screwed the pooch.
I used to be in Louisiana, and I just moved here 3 years ago. So
Just 3 years ago.
I feel like a jerk.
So the entire time that you've known Lonnie, he's always been in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I still said Louisiana.
Well, me and Gina are interchangeable. We look alike.
How close are you to the border?
Oh,
2 miles? A mile?
3 hours.
Oh, yeah, that's not close. Okay. Damn it. I'm sorry. All right, let's start that again.